I know that the red team is the best, but there's like only 3 of us. Oh, hello! No! No! No, Gib was in the red team, and now Gib is not in the red team. I am in the red team. Someone join the red team. Gib is in pink. Well, I'm just gonna sing some song until someone joins the red team. Like Hoodie Song. Oh, hello, Craig. Are you recording for the podcast? Oh, hello, Hoodie.
How's it going?
Pretty good. So, what's your deal? Where are you from?
I'm from America. I live in Massachusetts.
All right.
Cool.
Red
What's
team.
up, Ben?
What's going on? I gotta get Tom and Gibbon here.
Hello.
This has been a terrible idea. Frankly, awful.
Yeah.
Might be the worst idea you've ever had. And
Yeah. Well,
you've had some pretty terrible ideas.
Actually, no. I know everybody is being ironic about this being the worst idea, but I think it's the best idea. And because everybody is here and is having fun, I think it's actually the best idea. And it's great.
The point of it, it's not about having fun. It's about making the commenters mad. It's about all the angry comments that are going to be under it. Like, wow, the PCP's really gone downhill. Like, wow, they're doing this now. Like, cringe. Like, wow, unsubscribing. Oh, Nate's not on the podcast. Huh? No, Nate, no, listen. See you next week. You fucking commenter every fucking week for like 4 weeks now. I've seen that same comment, and just, you fucking weirdo. What's his problem? What's his deal?
Liking Nate unironically.
Sure. I mean, and that's just the start. That's just the start of this problem.
The worst thing about those comments are like the sort of smug satisfaction, that the sort of like self-assuredness that they are like destroying our psyche and that they are like really fucking cutting deep. And it's like, no. We're just doing the podcast and other people aren't showing up. It's
From
as simple as that.
Perspective, it does seem like the PCP has both an incredibly dedicated audience, like, I don't mean this offensively, but like you guys do get relatively low numbers and still you have really high engagement on like your Patreon and whatnot. And at the same time, it seems like your audience completely hates like each audience member probably has like 3 or 4, members of the podcast that they just hate, and it's like a really weird dynamic that I don't quite understand.
That's what happens when you have a cult following that attracts autists that have hyperfocus, and like it's just the way it is. There's some weird intangible thing that these people really find themselves interested in, and when it's not there, the entire facade falls apart, and they're like, "Wow, this is terrible."
I guess we set ourselves up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've definitely had like great moments in the past. I'm sure people are just remembering those, but like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that the future is always worse. Like they don't like the dynamic anymore when there's less people. Some people do prefer it, so it's a different show, and they want it to be like the yellow episode every episode. And that's just like, it's kind of in history now. You can't recreate that.
I think there's a lot of people. There was a lot of people to whom the yellow episode is the ideal PCP episode.
If every episode was the yellow episode would not be special or interesting. It would just be lost in the noise.
It's true.
If every PCP episode was good, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
I was just thinking about that and how much I want a hot dog last night. I was really hungry.
I was curious how thick you guys' skin is, because like, do you guys? I mean,
like metaphorically.
You talk about how the yellow episode is the best episode. To me, that episode is like
literally. How many inches?
How hard would it be to skin you and turn you into a rug?
Yeah, mention your skin.
Hippopotamus.
To me, the yellow episode is almost hard to listen to sometimes because it's just arguing. It is just
I agree. The yellow episode was not fun to record. It was like actually really tense and unpleasant, and I don't like it much.
It really needs to be stated that like I think it's obvious if like you kind of understand that episode, but like it started in the beginning already kind of in an awkward situation because the argument had been going on before the episode started, and I think most of us thought it was just gibs and gaffes and jokes, but it quickly became apparent, no, this is real rage. And the longer it went on, the more it was just like, oh God, I can't believe this is really happening.
Yeah, for sure.
It was not a meme. Was real.
I think people still think that it was like a meme, and it was not a meme.
No.
Look,
he literally wanted to murder us for like a year after that, and he probably still does. I'd argue.
I actually had a similar experience. When I staffed at Brony Fair in Germany, in Berlin, one year. And I stayed at some people's house. Some people's flat, and I like, and after the con, I like was packed and everything, and just chilling, and I just asked the guy, oh, so what did you think of the convention? How did you like it? And he just started going off, and he started telling like one thing that was wrong after another, and and in my mind I was like, at the start I was just thinking of what I would reply, but after like the 5 minutes I was like, okay, maybe he's not stopping. Then 10 minutes I'm like, okay, maybe this is not worth it. And then, when it started to go over 20 minutes,
of course you challenged him to a
I was just resigned to just listening, and he complained about a con for like 40 minutes. It was unbelievable. That was my first experience of something that extreme.
Well, personally speaking, I think the podcast. I mean, listen, it's not perfect right now. I do think you guys are on an upwards trend. I think some of those past episodes aren't good, to be frank. I don't hold the yellow episode in that high regard. I think the podcast as it is right now is a lot better than the audience seems to give it credit for. I think you just have an audience that is full of whiny bitches, to be honest.
I 100.
As much as their favorite member is in it. So if you're a Nate head, the podcast is garbage, right?
If the podcast lately isn't to your taste, I'm not gonna say like I disagree, like that's wrong, but I definitely agree that they are a bunch of whiny bitches.
Well, that's been the case since episode 1, so I'm not at all surprised.
Okay, I think we're gonna do like little 5-minute jaunts. We've been in here 5 minutes, so we're gonna move on to Blue Team, but we will be back.
No, I wanted to ask about 3D printing.
We will be next time.
Hold on to that. I will be happy to chat about that.
Okay, here we go.
All right, peace out.
Oh God, this is awkward. I better.
Bail.
No, Craig is gone. The best PCP member.
That was not terrible.
Yeah. So, do you actually care about 3D printing?
I mean, I think it is an abstract idea that I have no knowledge about, but I do think it's pretty fucking cool. Like, watching a time lapse of a 3D printed object is the coolest thing that exists right now, I think. I think it is the coolest piece of technology that seems to be real. But no, I have literally no knowledge about it beyond that.
Did you ever do something with a hot glue gun?
Yeah, I've messed around with a hot glue gun before.
Yeah, so a 3D printer is basically like a hot glue gun, but precise.
So, what is it? Just that the material that's coming out is so thin that you just can't see it until it starts building up?
Yeah, it just goes layer by layer. It just slices it up into 0.4 millimeter layers usually, and it just does one, and then it goes over the previous one again, and the previous one is already cooled and solid.
Yeah.
So it just builds up like that.
It is pretty fascinating. Why do you 3D print a lot?
It's my job actually.
Oh, really? What do you do?
These days. Yeah. Well. It's been like 4 months, and I started working at a company that distributes like CAD software, in which you do like 3D models for industry. So really expensive software.
Yeah.
But those things they started going to like monthly subscriptions. So it's that you pay directly to the company that makes it. So it's becoming less lucrative as a business model to distribute it.
So what exactly are you like? I guess maybe you already answered this. What is the specific things you're making?
And so they started. They want to go into the 3D printer business.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to sell expensive 3D printers to their customers. So what I do is that we bought an expensive 3D printer, $60,000. And I operate it. I print on it. I print samples. Usually the clients send us some parts that they are already making in some other way, and I print them out.
So what is the difference between like a $60,000 model that you have and something that someone could just have in their house? Is it just the size of things that could be made?
The printer, the $60,000 printer is a resin printer, so it actually works differently than the regular one. It uses liquid resin that hardens under UV light. So there's a vat, and under it there's a big display, and it just flashes the image of every layer, and that makes the layer and hardens it, and that's how it makes the print. And the advantage of our printer is that it's really fast, and it has a large build volume compared to other resin printers.
Okay. How fast are we talking? Like, what is for something that would take 12 hours at your like standard, I don't know, home 3D printer?
That shortens it up to like 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's significantly faster.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm also, right now I'm in the middle of DevCon, which is an event that's next to Gamescom, but it's like it's like a professional B2B event. And
wait, repeat that. It's a professional what?
Like business to business.
Okay.
Event. And I'm a volunteer on it. This year it's digital, and we with my friends we made a prototype of a game, and now we're trying to get funding for it to make it into a big game.
What kind of game are we talking?
It's do you know the first Mafia game?
Oh yeah, you were talking about it in the chat. Yeah. Am I wrong? That was you in the
yeah.
Okay.
That was me.
Yeah, that sounded interesting. I mean, I'm not a huge gamer, to be 100% honest, but did certainly sound interesting.
Yeah, so I've been I had some meetings last week, and one with a publisher. I think it went well, but they publish like 6 to 8 games a year, so who knows how that'll work.
Yeah, I mean, what is the requirements for a game of what you're imagining? Are we talking like you need a huge budget, or is this something that a couple of dudes on their laptops could do in a couple of years?
Yeah, so it's more the second, but it's still an open world game, and so what I've been told by some people at the meetings was that the budget that we were thinking of asking for, just between like 140,000 euro and 300,000 euros. That's like so small that that publishers won't take us seriously. It's too little money.
Okay.
It's, suspiciously little money, and they only think we could do it for that. So now I'm telling that we're looking at between 300,000 euros and $1 million.
Yeah, so just increasing the budget just to make it seem more authentic?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I mean, the problem is that funding with a small amount of money, so small projects for small amount of money, it's just not worth the time of investors. It's you'll get kicked out and not listened to if you ask for too little. So there's a big gap between having money from like a decent Kickstarter and getting money from an investor or a publisher.
Is this something you couldn't do through Kickstarter? Like, is this too big of a scope?
We could, but we want to try getting someone to pay us first before we do crowdfunding.
Yeah, I feel you.
So what do you do?
Well, for work, I am a YouTuber, but the thing I would say I mostly do is I write comics.
So you get enough money to live from YouTube?
Yeah, I'm not like rich or anything. Like, it's definitely still, just enough to pay the bills. Yeah.
That's still impressive. What's your channel?
It's called Kato, Kato. It's just like anime analysis, stuff like that. Same thing as like Digi and Nate.
I do not see you.
I would link it, but I don't want to put it in the general chat.
I don't see you. Kato?
Kato.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't see you anywhere.
I could link you, but I don't want to post it in general. Let me see if I could private message it to you.
Yeah, you probably can. I mean, I'm a YouTube addict. Do you know what the limit for the amount of videos in one playlist is?
I have no idea.
5,000.
What, you've made a couple of those?
Yeah, like 6 now.
What do you even need a playlist for that long for? Like, are you revisiting these videos?
No. So, well, not anymore. But what I used to do was before I started paying for YouTube, I used to be on the toilet, and you couldn't listen to YouTube in the background on your phone. So I just listened to a video and looked for other ones in the meantime. Multitasking.
How often are you on the toilet that you're getting through 5,000 video playlists?
I'm not getting through them. I'm just making them.
All right, fair enough.
I'm always catching up, but these days I am paying for YouTube, so I just click everything to download, So
Yeah.
that means I constantly have no space on my phone, because it just automatically downloads the videos.
Yeah.
And fills up all my memory, So I have to always delete them after I see them.
Luckily, I spend too much time watching YouTube, but luckily I'm usually just buying my computer. So luckily my phone is free from the, gigabytes of videos I'd have to download to it.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple big videos for YouTube in my head and some in the making. One of them is doing like a big YouTube analysis video, like a rant about how bad their app is and their interface and everything,
Mm-hmm.
Even though they are making some improvements somewhere, but then they fuck it up somewhere else, Like, for example, these days when you listen to YouTube in the background on your phone, it actually stops loading the video, and it loads only the audio track, which saves data, because when you go from one to the other, it starts buffering and loading again.
This is for like desktop?
No, that's on mobile.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I probably have ADHD, so I have like 80 tabs open on my browser and stuff.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, do you watch just anime or Western show as well?
Well, I would say my channel is like 80% anime, but I would say mostly what I watch is like film and stuff, like film and TV from the West, because,
Right.
I view the YouTube thing. It's fun. I like it, but it is my job. So basically, it was just the reason it's an anime channel is not because I'm the biggest anime fan in the world. I do love anime, but like mostly I make anime videos because people watch anime videos, and I don't think I'd get as many views if I was talking about, whatever films I like. People do it, but anime definitely is bigger.
It's a more niche subject, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I watched a new episode of The Owl House today, and it was great.
The Owl House? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah. 92. That's it's a Disney show. It's like similar to Star Wars, I'd say, and Gravity Falls, kind of a hybrid between the two. But
okay.
The last episode was really sick, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Definitely looks like those shows.
I mean the intro sounds like Gravity Falls intro, but it is different enough, I'd say. It's pretty much between those two shows, I'd say, but with a different dynamic, and yeah, I like it. And I also been watching Decadence, so.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Decadence. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm honestly really kind of spotty on seasonals. Like, I don't pick them up very fast, but it's definitely on my radar.
Yeah, I usually don't do seasonals because I just wait. Blue team wants to colonize the red team? No.
I thought the Team CP was part of the red team. What happened?
No, it never was. Team CP was never red.
He was never red? Oh, I could have swore he was. Whatever.
Maybe at the start and he changed it. So, are you also going to anime cons or any cons?
I have never been to a convention. I'll be honest. Like, they don't sound fun to me. I know everyone I've ever spoken to who's gone to them says they're a lot of fun. there's certain things that sound fun, like there's certain panels I would love to hear, but the idea of just walking around, I don't know. Like to me, like walking around the artist alley, that doesn't sound all that crazy fun to me, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's two basic and different ways to enjoy a convention. One is alone, and the second one is with friends. And I mean, I have friends and I made friends at conventions, but usually I enjoy it alone. But I just enjoy, walking around and being on panels and just seeing what's going on. And these days I usually also almost always volunteer at cons. So.
What is volunteering at a con like?
I like it. There are different roles. Typical ones is like reception, so giving out tickets, or guarding some place, or passing microphones during a lecture. And the cool thing is that you also get to chill during the con. You can talk to other volunteers, and you get to see how a con is run. And I like seeing how things are run in different ways. There are many different ways to run a con, and you also almost always it works that you spend half of it con volunteering, and the other half is for free. So you get a free ticket. Sometimes you get it also. You get also food and some other perks, but that depends on which con.
Yeah. I guess volunteering doesn't sound bad, because to me the biggest issue is like I could do a loop around the convention hall, and that sounds fun, I guess, but that's like I'm not going to spend hours doing that. So to me it seems like, volunteering for half the day and then spending the other half of the day, walking around, that sounds better to me than spending the whole day walking around.
Yeah. Volunteers are always needed, and it's usually a pretty chill time. So, I have been at some events where there were not enough people running, and that can be hell. I have been in the dressing room, where people leave their coats and stuff.
Sure.
And I had to be there the whole day one time because there was no one else, and that was it's really important that somebody guards people's stuff at all times. So
yeah,
it can happen, but it's not that usual.
Well, I don't think we're going to get any cons anytime soon, but I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it in the next 10 years when this all blows over.
You can also start your own.
I suppose that's true. I don't really know why I would. I mean, I guess I would just start another anime convention. It seems like we have enough of those.
I mean, there are cons that start just as meetups. You could have. You could just start doing a meetup for your audience or stuff.
That's true. I guess that's kind of like how the Rooster Teeth does their RTX and whatnot.
Yeah, for example. Or Shut Up and Sit Down. Do you know that channel?
Don't think I've heard of them.
Yeah, they are the probably the best channel about board games. All their videos are great. I really recommend them also to observe how they do videos, because they're one of the channels that it doesn't matter what the video is about. they're always entertaining because they make basically every review is also a skit where they have some running joke through the video, and it's really great, and they have oodles of charisma. So.
And they just do reviews and stuff?
Yeah, they do reviews of board games.
I'm looking them up now.
Maybe the best video is about Crokinole. Crokinole.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones that came up. All right,
Yeah,
I'll bookmark this for afterwards.
I mean, I could recommend videos and channels all night long. You know, it's what I do.
Surprised this went this long. I was half expecting it to end like 30 minutes in because well, I don't know if people really want to listen to this, but we're going an hour and 40 now, and
I mean, I want to listen to this. I'm gonna listen to it after it comes out. I
don't know. I guess maybe this just isn't for me, but like I don't have a high attention span for just people screaming. Like I don't know. I was most of the original call that we were in. I was just sitting there like kind of half asleep because I don't know. Maybe I'm just a different sense of humor than everyone else. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, podcasts are one long videos, and podcasts are one of the things that I put on when I can't actually watch the video, you know, so, and I'm doing something else besides it, so it's gonna
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like podcasts.
Super engaged.
Yeah, I like podcasts. I like this podcast, that's why I'm here, but I just don't know if I like 40 people on a podcast I'll talk. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. I just think, I don't know. I probably would not listen to this if it were me.
Yeah, well,
teach their own. Not a big deal.
I mean, I haven't even listened to all the episodes of the podcast. You know, it's I've been following Digi and Tom for the longest time, and
what from the Brony days?
Yeah, and I still haven't forgiven Digi entirely for just seeming so cynical about his pony videos. You know, like that they were only there to gain an audience, which is which I don't believe, and I think she'll have something to say about it in the lecture when it finally comes out.
Yeah, what lectures are we still waiting on? Is it just hers?
And Ben's. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Ben has a Sonichu lecture, right?
Oh, really? I don't know which one was his.
I think so. I think Ben was waiting to drop the Sonichu finale, and then he was going to do a follow-up. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah. So, what would you do if you had unlimited money?
Unlimited? Well, I'd probably spend a lot of time doing nothing, to be 100% honest. After that, I guess I'd probably start financing film. I'd say that's like, you know, right now I'm writing comics, but my ultimate goal is to write film and produce film, stuff like that.
Yeah, what kind of movies would you like to make?
It's a great question. I guess if I had to choose one, I guess I just like prefer very small dramas, like, you know, like the type of movie that would, you know, be nominated at an Oscar.
Like
it's very normie, but sorry, repeat that.
Like 12 Angry Men?
Sure. I mean, that's within the realm of what I'm talking about. Yeah. I just think small, you know, well, you know, I love so many types of movies. I love superhero movies and, you know, standard blockbuster, all that too. But if I'm talking about the movies that I specifically hold in high regard. It's definitely I guess just for a simple point of reference, just like Oscar films, and that's like super normie, but I don't know. I guess I'm just a normie.
Yeah, well, there's nothing too wrong about that. I mean, everybody is a bit normie about some things, So.
Yeah, I hope they don't. Well, I wonder how this is gonna end, because I just started pouring like really, really hard, and I think it's hail too. So I don't know if you can hear it, like, bouncing against my window. I think that would be, because I live kind of close to Ben, so I wonder if it's getting in his audio too.
I mean, they're in the purple channel right now, and Cito is streaming.
Yeah, I don't know. If they do come back around to us, I might just have to drop out, because I don't want to like ruin the audio for everyone else.
No. It's not bad. It's gentle. I mean, there's plenty of times on videos or on podcasts where people apologize. Oh, there's a plane going overhead, or they hear something in the distance, and usually it's fine.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe I can just edit it out too if I get like a clean sample of it.
Yeah. So, do you have any script you write in your head or writing?
Scripts for like movies?
Yeah.
I don't really write too many movies right now. I like sort of in the past year, I've taken a large step towards comic books, just because while it is good to get practice for screenwriting, it felt like the chances of me making a movie right now were so slim that the more realistic option that I could pursue was something like a comic book. So most of what I'm writing right now is just comics and stuff like that. I just finished, I wrote like a short story for, do you read any webtoons at all?
I don't read webtoons, but I read a lot of webcomics.
Yeah. Well, webtoons just had a short story contest, and I entered one. I didn't win or anything, which was unfortunate, but I was thinking about expanding on that short story into a longer comic. So past couple of weeks, I've just been working on a bit of an outline / pitch that I could maybe shop around to publishing companies to see if anyone wants to take it.
So you want to make print comics, not web comics?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me whether it's printed or not. The biggest thing is that I only write. I don't draw. I'm just not a very good artist. So the biggest thing is that I have an artist who worked with me on this. I can't ask them to continue working for free. So it'd have to be a thing where either I come up with the money or we find some sort of publisher who could help, fund that aspect of it.
And do you also outline the panels?
No. Luckily, the partnership I formed with this artist is they very much have like a visual eye for how they want pages to look like. So I'm writing I'm actually just writing in screenplay format, like as if I were writing a movie, and they're taking that and adapting it into a comic, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is, I coming from the screenwriting background, that is something I prefer. So I think it ends up working out really well for me.
So, what was that comic about?
It was called Embers. It's a short story about this apprentice wizard creating her first golem / automaton robot type thing. It's just it's a short four issue story. It's a bit of a sad, somber, bittersweet type comic.
Do you know the webcomic Gaia?
Gaia?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, at the start, it's similar to what you're saying, I'd say. It's one of my favorites. It's really good. I'll link it to you.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now, I think. SandraandWoo.com.
Yeah.
Posted on 2011. So this is a long comic.
Yeah, but it's in its last chapters. She said so. It's gonna end fairly soon, and the story is analogous to that. It does seem to be ending, and it's great because it's epic with big large world building, but it has a big focus on characters, and the characters are great, and there are many big consequences to actions. So.
Interesting. How long have you been reading?
Gaia?
Yeah.
Probably since around the start. Yeah, I think it was like 1 or 2 chapters in when I started reading.
Jesus. So it's been a while.
I mean, I have been reading different webcomics for a very, very long time. I have actually read the Unicorn Jelly comic when I was in high school. Hello?
What'd you say it was called? Unicorn what?
Unicorn Jelly. The one from Ben's lecture about the company.
Oh,
Wish.
okay. Yeah.
So that was cool, and I remember being really confused from the website. Like there were so many things, and I didn't know where to start with anything. But somehow I figured out that that's the first thing I should read, and it was the only thing that I read in the end. But
Okay.
it's pretty cool. And there are comics like Order of the Stake or Gunner Kirk Guard, which is amazing as well. That I've been reading since high school, since that time, because the school computers had Flash disabled and a lot of other websites as well. So webcomics were the one thing that always worked on those computers,
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't think when I was in school trying to read comics, because I mean, pretty much every day in school I would take my study hall in the library and just sit there on a computer. Definitely would have been a productive thing for me to be doing, is at least, well, productive, quote unquote, would be to, be reading like a comic or something. Instead, I just sort of, I don't know, played Minesweeper, like wasted away.
I mean, Minesweeper is not that bad.
Yeah, Minesweeper is pretty cool. I don't mean to discredit Minesweeper.
when you actually finally understand how it's played,
I also played a lot of Tetris when I was in high school. I was just playing Tetris every day on the library computer.
Yeah. I mean, I used to play the Windows XP, the pinball, a lot.
Oh, of course.
Proud of the high scores. And and just getting into the extra levels of that pinball, that was like an orgasmic experience when you finally actually managed to hit some kind of combo,
Yeah.
So what are your favorite comics?
That is a question you would think I have a good answer for. I don't know if I do. I think very highly of, I found the PCP through Digi, but I would say right now I'm like a really, I consume most of Ben's stuff. So I think the Vapors is a pretty big favorite of mine. But yeah, I don't know if I have.
For how small it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, we've been working on it 5 years, has 3 issues.
Yeah, I was actually quite angry because I came off one time from rereading Gaia a second time, you know, and I was like, okay, I reread Gaia. Let's see about some other webcomic that I could read. Oh wait, I was meaning to read Ben's stuff for the longest time, listening to the PCP. You know, he's chilling all the time and stuff. All right, so let's check out his website, you know, and I just started reading, and then I stopped reading, and I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
Where's everything else, you know?
I will say...
You're calling this a whole comic?
I will say a better short story, like a more complete story from Ben is his Nuzlocke, or his Nuzlocke comic. I think Brunswick is... It's obviously also incredibly short, but I think it is fully satisfying in a way that, you know, I don't think... I think you can read the Vapors 1 and 2 by themselves, but it definitely makes you want more, as where Brunswick feels like a complete story.
Yeah. But it's also less of a story. It's just a Let's Play comic.
Well, you know, it is, and I don't think that's any less of a story. I think it is a Let's Play, but it is clearly adapted to be some form of a narrative. You know, it doesn't forget that it's based on a video game or based on a Let's Play of a video game, but at the same time, I do feel like it enhances the material in a way that I would still consider plenty worthy of being a story.
Yeah, that's fair. So where are they right now?
They're on the last
they're
group.
in pink, so maybe they will try to come around.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do another loop. They said they would, but it seems like we're already
We'll
at
see.
2 hours, so...
Yeah, I think people should make a Kickstarter or a fundraiser for Aliazar's computer. You know.
R.I.P.
Yeah. So if you're feeling adventurous, I posted. I sent you a link to one of my favorite fanfictions.
I will say I'm not a huge brony. Like I've seen one episode of My Little Pony, so I don't know if this is right for me. But
this one is not. It's not necessary to know My Little Pony to enjoy this one. I'd say. It's pretty saucy. But it's also really well written, where the mind control aspect is actually brought into its logical conclusion. You know, where the main character has to actually fight about it with the state, you know, and stuff. So.
sure.
And it's really hot as well. Yeah, so. Only if you'd like.
No, you're good. You're good. Whoa!
Hello.
Welcome back. You guys doing another full round through all the parties?
I think that's the plan.
At least one more.
Yeah,
Jesus.
we're really
All right.
putting in the effort this week. What can I say?
I wanted to ask a question real quick. I guess specifically towards Gib. But
Right.
Have you considered approaching like a publisher for your comics at all? Because I was just talking with iluzon about some comics he was reading, some webcomics, and some that I were reading, and it seemed like you could probably bring yours to something like, I don't know, like Hiveworks or something.
Hiveworks. Yeah,
I applied.
I've not thought of anything like that. I don't know why. I guess it's obviously like a possible if it looks good enough.
Okay. I applied to Hiveworks one time. they used to do like calls for submissions, and I applied during a call for submissions, and I did not get accepted. Like very shortly after that, they changed their model, so they don't do calls for submissions. They just like anytime you can like email them and pitch them.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's open all the time now. I'm actually putting together a pitch right now that I'm trying to submit to them. I didn't realize you had submitted to them. Did you say you actually did, Ben?
I did, yeah, I did.
And
what probably would have been in like
pitch look like?
They have like an information like page that's like explains how to structure a pitch. You know, it had like character art and like a few pages of your that's it, just like a couple pages of your comic so they can see what your art looks like, and a like text, like 1 page or less, like sort of text, just explanation of what it is, and like character art design, whatever, of the individual main characters, and that's it. Yeah.
The one thing that sort of seemed weird to me about Hiveworks, and this is, I guess, coming from the perspective of someone who doesn't, I guess the amount of webcomics I've read is fairly limited. I was talking to Iluzon about this Gaia webcomic, which I saw updated a page every couple of days, so we're talking like maybe 2 or 3 a week at most. How do you even amass readers in such a way? Like, how does someone decide to jump on a story that they know is going to be updated at such a slow pace? And it seems like,
that's like a pretty reasonable,
entirely.
That's like a pretty moderate pace for a webcomic.
If you're uploading more than 1 page a week, you're like ahead of the pack.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's. I don't like for a webcomic. I don't feel like that's that slow.
I think updates like the webcomic format does work better for strips because you can jump in and jump out without having too much context. I think that's why like 4-panel comics and stuff do so well. They're just so much more approachable.
Strips are bad because there's just too much of them, and going through the whole archive
market. But like the biggest ones are those, because like if you get a formula that works, like they're so easy, they're easily shareable, they're easily memeable.
I saw this one that's like been recently getting big, the like gray aliens that just say normal things but with like a lot of words. I can't remember what it's called.
That's not even a webcomic. It's just something that pops up on my Facebook.
Well, it is on the web, so I think
it's on the web and it's a comic.
I guess it's not a healthy comparison, but you think of the stories that I guess most people would be used to is like manga, and even beyond that, obviously manga produces at a rate that no human should really strive for. But even if you looked at something like, Western, big 2 comics, DC, Marvel, they're coming out like every month. And to me, that seems so incredibly fast compared to the web comics. So I guess to me, it seems sort of like I don't understand how this works, and yet it does seem to be working. And I don't know, it just seems weird. Like, imagine having to read One Piece, 1 page a week, and you get 50 pages a year. That's like, that is such a dwarf story at that point. You know what I mean?
That's huge. That's kind of why I don't read a lot of story-based webcomics, just because it drags so long. I'd rather just like read them in chunks of like a completed issue.
Yeah. Imagine trying to read like Scott Pilgrim a page every week.
It's kind of why I stopped trying to make webcomics.
That would suck.
It would be terrible.
But what you do is just have a larger number of them, have them in the RSS reader, and look at it every day. And every day you have different comics that you read a page of.
Work. And like that's why they exist. It just like aggregates all of the web comics, because that's like was the problem, especially for me. Is like there'd be comics I'd be reading like Elsie Hooper and shit, and I'd have to go back to the website. I'd always just forget about it, but then I'd have like a backlog to go through when I finally remembered 6 months from then. But it's not really good for audience retention. So I don't know. It's not a great format. Like story-based stuff, updating 1 page a week is just not ideal, which is why nobody in like a professional capacity publishes that way.
Yeah, I guess it seems like the only option for someone who does not have the funding to gather a whole team. Like if you are just an artist, maybe an artist and a writer, you just don't have the resources to have those 6 assistants that are necessary to be producing an issue.
Right. And you're also, if you're starting out, this is probably not the way you're making money. So you also have to like work your day job and all that other shit. And so like, it's just like a lot to ask of somebody in their free time to produce 24 pages in 1 month.
I think what we're learning here is that comics is an inherently classist system that needs to be abolished at all costs.
What else is new?
All you gotta do is just be worse at art, and you can make 50 pages in a month, like me.
That's how I made Slime and Punishment.
You gotta streamline some shit. You gotta make your choices. Everything's a compromise.
Do you feel like Slime and Punishment is going to affect the way you approach something like the Vapors moving forward? Are you going to simplify future issues of that?
Maybe in places. I think Slime and Punishment was good practice for drawing efficiently and not like worrying about like small details where they aren't necessary. So yeah, I think in a way probably I will be less inclined to like fucking spend an entire day like drawing and redrawing some like irrelevant thing, which is something I was prone to do before, which I'm sure I still will, but maybe a little less. So that's cool. Hey, do you guys want to hear a voicemail? Do you want to listen to a voicemail?
Give us a goddamn voicemail.
Yes. Okay. How about this one? It is called Metaphysics of Frogs, and I'm putting it in the Reds only chat.
Right.
Okay. We're gonna listen to it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, play.
Ben, this one is for you, buddy, because something in my brain just snapped. A few years ago, I was in a big Jordan Peterson kick.
Yeah.
I grew out of it before becoming a far-right activist.
Oh,
but
cringe.
What really
Peterson's
matters
great.
is that they get the cookie old man to make a video on the metaphysics of frogs because he kind of sounds like Kemet and because Pepe the Frog and shit like that. So your character on the D&D is like a frog Jesus, and this is interesting because frogs, they are amphibian, so they transit between the water world and the earth world, and this mirrors
like
the descent of the hero's journey to the underworld to get something that is most valuable, like in the tale of the Princess and the Frog, when the frog descends to get the princess golden ball. Like in the Bible, when Jesus he descends into hell,
how much longer?
And later is resurrected,
5 seconds.
redeeming humanity.
That was very Jordan Peterson core.
Yeah.
Of like loosely connecting.
The frog. The frog truly represents the mediation between the dragon of chaos and the upper world of the goddess.
Frogs start black and then turn green, so there's a clear progression there.
That's right there.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
Incredible.
Well, I guess on the metaphysics of frogs, I agree. I agree with you about it.
I'm with him, and fuck Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Call me crazy.
No.
Jordan Peterson is a funny meme man who eats nothing but beef.
I hope he's doing okay. He's going through a rough
on a human level.
right
I hope he's not literally dead. That is ideal for me.
It seems like he's
had like last I heard he had like brain damage. He was in Russia recovering from like some medical bullshit.
Yeah, like the Winter Soldier program. He was
like they induced a coma in it.
Yeah,
There's so many based things about Peterson, like
like all of that.
He's like a cautionary tale of like what happens if like you blow up on the internet and are not ready for it. Like oh god, I don't.
I mean, he was ready for it, and he did pretty great for all the attention.
He got addicted to painkillers. Like that was like his wife got cancer. It was like the same time. So like this might have been something that would have happened regardless.
That's fair.
Has anyone checked up on Nate to make sure he's not going down this path? Is he in Russia right now?
We can only hope. We can only hope he's going down.
I hope for his sake that he's eating nothing but beef. That's the one thing I agree with. Okay,
he's probably eating nothing but curry.
We are going to move on to Blue.
Wait. What did you print last time?
What did I print?
What 3D printing?
Oh, okay.
I've been 3D printing a bunch of stuff. I can't talk about some of it because it'd be spoiling other content I'm working on. But I got some D&D minis. I've printed some benchies. I've been dialing in the settings on the Anycubic i3 Mega. I got it pretty nice now. I was having a lot of problems with bed adhesion, and I realized it's because even though I had Z-hop enabled, there was another setting that was overriding the Z-hop, so the nozzle kept clipping the supports and knocking it off the base, and I thought it was a problem with me leveling the bed, but it wasn't. So I fixed that. It's working good now. I just ordered replacement nozzles because the nozzle's like leaking shit. It's gross. It's probably all clogged up, so I'm going to clean out the hot end. And
did you order different sizes?
Yeah, I got 0.2 nozzle now. I'm going to go even tinier details. It's going to be sick. Also, I'm heavily considering getting an Elegoo Mars Pro. I really want to go resin. It's fucking cool. That's where...
Yeah.
None of those words were real. None of that was
I think he was
like actually English.
Like speaking in code, yeah.
It's Star Trek technobabble.
From my Russian hypnosis.
Hell yeah.
Just wait till he prints you an actual doll of your character, and you'll start seeing it.
That is so fucking cool that you can just do that. Okay,
power.
But we must away. I think probably we're gonna make one more down, and then we will let you know everyone will rejoin the general at the end. So I just wait for that. Okay.
All right.
Craig's still here. What's up, Craig? How's it going?
Recording. Still recording.
I think he's doing it in the wrong chat. I think he has to do it in general.
Yes.
Oh. Nope, looks like he got it. All right. I guess now we just wait for 40 more minutes.
I guess it's not as if humans need sleep, you know.
Oh yeah, you're probably not in America. What time are you?
Yeah, it's half before midnight.
Okay, so that's not awful. Definitely not great, but it's not awful.
No, it's not like 5 in the morning or something. The first or some others that way. But I did have to join really late for some May streams and stuff like that. You know. But I've been really glad that I started actually engaging with the PCP universe. You know.
What are you in the Discord and whatnot?
Yeah, well, I've been on May streams a couple times, and I actually got Tom into 3D printing. You know, just wrote him on Twitter, and got him started. So.
Yeah, I mean, I like the PCP guys and all that. I find it hard to be a part of any community just because I feel like it just requires a lot of work and maintenance, and I just don't know if I have that in me. You know, like being a part of every live stream chat. Like I'll watch the live streams, but like actively chatting, that's I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, I like the chaotic energy, you know, and the chaotic energy also makes me feel like it actually doesn't matter what I say. I can say anything. And you know, on the PCP or some other places, you need to also be funny to not be shunned. But with May, I always felt pretty comfortable, even though I don't know.
Because May hates comedy. She hates to laugh.
Does she? Huh.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, but you know, she's pretty welcoming to everybody who hops on. I don't know how much of that is a persona that she puts on to be a good show host, but yeah. I want to do my own stuff, you know, but it's like I have to figure out how to actually edit and you know, and record properly, and then I have to actually do it. And
I mean, if you're making video games and you're actively 3D printing, it feels like learning to edit is probably a really basic thing for someone like you.
I know. I already did edit videos in like the Premiere Lite version, the cheap version they stopped making, and I actually bought HitFilm Pro.
You bought HitFilm Pro? Isn't there a free version?
Yeah, there is, but I felt like buying the full version. The free version is a bit limited for some things, and I already did the mistake of editing in the small Premiere, and then when I got the big Premiere, I had no idea how to do anything because it actually worked differently. So I don't want to do that to be a thing again.
Yeah.
And I bought it on a whim basically when they had one of their big sales. So
I mean, I can't imagine it was that expensive. How much was it?
I mean, it's like $100 regularly, I think, and they had like a 20% or something sales.
It's not a subscription, right? You just it's a one-time purchase.
Yeah, it's a one-time purchase.
I mean, that's not
their
bad.
main selling point. So.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I mean, it's not only for editing, but also for compositing and other things, So.
Yeah.
But I just like to just finally have Elon Musk's Neuralink, so I can just make my thoughts appear, fully formed in something that someone
certainly
else
would
can
be
consume,
great.
I just have too many ideas all the time, and I tried to actually lead the quiet life and just work and have fun when I get home, but I have just too many ideas, and when the work is too monotone, I just go crazy because I get bored, and even though I was watching YouTube all day when I was at the machine that makes filament for 3D printers. That was not enough, and I just go crazy because of all the thoughts I keep having.
Yeah, that's more or less why I ended up migrating to YouTube. I used to work at a restaurant, but I got into like such a deep depression from the monotony of like, waking up every day, going to work and all that, and finding an escape through creating videos, like working on my own schedule, doing whatever I wanted to do. To me, that was key to the next point in my life. I couldn't. There's no way I could stay where I was any longer. It was too boring. It was too soul draining.
Yeah. I mean, I envy a bit the people that can just have a monotonous job and just keep at it and be fine. But at the same time, that would just want to make me feel, want to make me kill myself. If that's all I needed from life.
Yeah, I feel you.
I just want enough money so I don't have to bother anyone else with all my bullshit, Just why can't I just get money for just existing and just for a couple months so I can actually write down my ideas and start working on them.
That's the universal basic income, baby.
Well, that's also investment, but yeah, I as with most things, I'm quite in the center about UBI, because for creative people, UBI I feel will be great because for starters, to be creative, you just need a pen and paper, nothing else, and just food to survive, and maybe YouTube and other things. But basically, just you just at the start, you just don't need that many resources to create anything. But at the other hand, I am a fan of a military sci-fi series called Honor Harrington, and in there, like the main bad guys are like a communist country in space that has basically a UBI, and the UBI over many years turns into a class of the society, and it becomes so politically powerful that it just pushes on raising the UBI higher and higher all the time, and it manages to rise it so high that it just bankrupts the whole country, and they have to go to war to get money, basically resources. So.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this show.
So I think it would be great for me to get UBI, but I don't know if the societal implications would pan out. Yeah, I'm probably gonna just play some games till they circle around.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm probably gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back, actually.
Sure. Oh yeah, I got another lightning.
Huggies. I have a dog.